So you used to make me so mad when you would be talking about me to our friends or in a group or circle or whatever, and you would refer to me as a glass half empty girl. You'd be
Right.
like, Danny Lee, she's more of like a glass half empty person, and I'm more of a glass half full person.
Yeah, because I just felt like there were so many times, like, in our lives and in all of our 16, 17 years of being with each other, that typically you'd look at a situation and you looked at it how what's the worst possible scenario? That's what you literally, babe, played out in your mind, which was
Right.
crazy.
Which I stopped fighting it for a little bit and I was like, okay, maybe he's right. That's maybe just my anxiety. Um,
Right.
but actually the other day we were having a conversation with some friends and I realized that that outlook on life is actually part of us operating in our gifts
Right.
as husband and wife and mom and dad. And here's what I'll explain.
Yeah.
Say, for instance, one night, which this has happened multiple times. So this is not a hypothetical story. This
Okay.
is real.
Okay.
We're going to bed and one of the kids spikes a fever. I immediately go into panic mode of what tomorrow looks like.
I mean, Danley comes to me and she's asking me, should we take the kids to the ER? Should I call my mom? She starts Googling stuff. This girl starts going on axgs.com, like trying to find out all
What?
this information about a fever. And like there's a blue dot on his nose. And then she comes to ask me, and I'm like, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. It just needs sleep. It needs rest. Hey, you guys know I'm Haitian, right? For those of you that don't know, I'm a Haitian. And for us Haitians, first of all, if you're sick, it's probably some type of spiritual attack, right?
Oh gosh.
That's what my
I
mom
just
used to
pray
make us
over him.
think.
Put some olive oil on
He
the
just
forehead. They'll
needs
be
prayer
fine.
and rest and lots of water.
Okay, but in reality, when the kids strike a fever, all I can think of is the schedule for the next day.
Right.
What's going to happen? What's going to happen with work? Do I need to call out? Who's going to call out? Is it you or is it me? Like all
I
the
ain't doing
things.
nothing
That is true.
because the kids are gonna be just fine. We all can go to sleep.
It's so
And then what
true.
you have to do is, parents, what you do is you just lock your door. So when the kids wake up at night
He does
and
not do that. I get up, guys. That's what happens.
yo,
He
there be
stays asleep and I get up with the
yo,
kids.
there'll be times like, babe, like we'll wake up in the morning and you'll say, "Oh my gosh, last night was the worst night ever." And I'm like, "What
He's
happened?"
not
You're
lying,
like,
guys.
They both woke up, one had diarrhea,
One was
one was
puking.
puking, like the other one was crying, the other one saw a weird spider in their dream. And I'm like, all that happened last night?
He stayed asleep through all of it. He's like, guys, I slept really great.
Yo, you guys could straight up come rob me at night, and I would have no idea I got robbed. Like I'd sleep hard, but the house I grew up in though.
That's true.
That
There's a
like the
lot
house
of
I grew up,
people.
there was always 8 to 10 people in our house. Yo, there'd be some times like my parents had all kinds of people coming to our house. I tell you the story.
I
I'm like, yeah,
know.
my dad's brother's best friend uncle is staying with us
So true.
because he's transitioning through states and we're staying with us.
It's
And
so
and then
true.
I was the second of three boys. You know what I mean? The middle of three boys. So, my older brother, you guys, some of you guys know him, he was a producer. So there'd be times, remember I tell you the stories, like there'd be times he's up late producing music. He has his friends coming at night, and we got school in the morning. So we just learned how to just be very optimistic and just always know like, it'll be fine, everything's gonna work out. So I think that's probably why I've created or I've built that muscle of like
Right.
always looking at a situation of like it's gonna worse out. It's probably because we went through some bad situations. I ever tell you about that story? Wait, we didn't say let's dig.
We didn't.
What are we even talking about today?
We're talking about the roles of men and women and how
Oh,
they're
okay.
strict. We just went down a
Oh,
rabbit
I
hole
need to drink some as well.
about
I need
your
my
older
water.
brother. What's up, bro? Um, Never
Yeah,
mind. He probably doesn't watch. It's fine. But talking about how I actually usually see the negative. I panic about all the things I need to take care of. And what I was saying was that as a glass half empty person,
right.
it's actually the mothering part of me, the characteristics of a mother who anticipates needs
Yeah,
that make me think that way. We are constantly in a habit of looking at things and saying, "Okay, we don't have enough money, it's not gonna stretch for the next 7 days. We don't have enough chicken nuggets, it's not gonna stretch for the next 3 days while we have school.
right.
Brooklyn needs new socks. Jordan needs new this. I need more money for this insurance." Like, whatever it may be,
Right.
as the head of the household, as a mother, like, that's constantly our role
Yeah.
is looking for the needs and then planning how to make up for that. But your role is more so like I feel like the men are kind of like, we'll figure it out. It's gonna work itself out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine. Like you guys never really panic of like, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. We don't have enough money.
Yeah.
Like you guys don't do that.
Right.
You're like, nah, it'll come in. Nah, it'll work itself out.
Well, I don't know if I could speak for every single man
Sure,
in that
but
sense because there's some
naturally
there
for you,
I know some men like their women be slapping them around and say, "Bruh, I need you to do something already."
that is
That's
true.
not our
We've
case.
never had to
Which
deal with that.
yeah, which let me just say this to all the fellas out there, like straight up, man up. Like the way God intended it for us, He intended for men to be men and for women to be men, for women to be women.
What?
I know people about to say, "Wait, oh my gosh, does Pierre?" Look, it's very simple. Listen, for those of y'all that follow us, and you can be like, "Oh my gosh, where does Pierre and Danley stand? Do they stand here? Do they stand there?" Listen, it's very simple. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. That's how God intended it to be. And
Right.
you know, yo, here's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. You ready for this? This is
I'm
gonna be
ready.
a weird segment, but in the beginning, when
So,
God
heads
created
up, here we go.
no, okay, not it's not really a story, right? It's just a moment
A moment.
that I really just highlighted and emphasized. It's in the Bible, it's in Genesis, right? We all know the story, right? God created man, and from the man he created woman. He pulled the woman out from his rib, made the woman go to sleep, made him go night night. The woman came and all this stuff, and the
Remember
man,
when you used to always call me your rib?
yeah, you still my rib, baby.
It was because the Baby Back Rib Chili
That we used
song
to
was
get from
really
Chili's. Yeah,
popular
that's
when we
crazy.
used when we
Yeah,
met.
but you're still my rib. All right,
Always
you're
and
still my rib.
forever.
But you took me. God took woman from the side, right? Because there was
Right.
never the intention wasn't for the man literally to be above him. However, the way God designed it was for the man to be the alpha, was for the man to be the provider.
Right.
And so, even think about that moment, right? When we hear the story about when Eve ate the fruit,
Right.
right? And now their eyes will open. They ate from the forbidden tree, which reminds me of the movie Year One with Jack Black when he ate the forbidden fruit, and he's like, man, it has kind of like a knowledgey taste to it. And the other guy's like, oh yeah, does it have like a forbidden taste to it? Ask me any question, right?
Where does the sun go at night?
Pass, right? So,
Next question.
but here's the crazy thing is when God realized that they ate that fruit. Go
Mhm.
back and read this, y'all. This is a Genesis chapter 3.
Yeah.
God came looking for the man.
Yeah. Because he was responsible.
Even though it was the woman that took the fruit, it was the woman that started, brought the fruit, ate it, she gave it to him. God came looking for the dude, like, yo, bro, hey, where are you? That's what the
Because
Bible says.
you're the
The Bible says,
covering.
bingo, because that's how God designed it as the man to be the head of the household. And for me, I've realized, babe, when I used to say that comment of, Danley, she's a glass half empty. She's always negative. She always sees how things aren't gonna work out. And she plays out all these scenarios and they don't make sense. That was me being in a place where I was empty and I didn't realize
Mm.
that you actually complete me.
Yeah.
You complete me.
Yeah.
And we live in this world where it's man against woman, right? We're trying to compete with each other. It's the classic saying of, we're not here to compete, we're here to complete. Yo, that is so true when it comes to relationships. I have people in my circle, I have people in our surroundings where when I wasn't in a healthy place, I would look down on some of their characteristics or
Mm.
some of their behaviors.
Mine.
Yeah, same. Okay, I was just trying to hypothetically speak. I wasn't trying to we don't need to always dig at our relationship the
But
whole
I'm
entire
just
time.
that's true, but it has been growth in our
Yeah,
relationship for us to realize that part of our characteristics are strengths and not always weaknesses.
that's exactly it. And I didn't realize that for so many years. And it frustrated me
Right.
that you always had a different perception
Yeah.
of a situation.
Right.
And I thought you should see it the way I see it. Listen, y'all, that's not the way it's designed. It's not designed for you and I to basically see it the same way. If we're on the athletic team and we're both on the same team and we're both on the same field, we do not play the same positions.
No.
Your position is just as strong as me. For so many years, I just thought you should do it like I do it,
Mhm. And
right?
see it how you
And
see it.
see it how I see it. And I was wrong for that.
And it's only made us stronger now knowing that your perspective is just as valued as my perspective and my
Right.
perspective is just as valued as your
Yeah.
perspective and that we are stronger when we are acknowledging each other's viewpoints
Yeah.
and like taking it into account of saying okay, that could happen. Here's what we can do to offset that or this might not happen but just in case
Yeah.
let's have a backup plan. And so I think that that has been a huge growth for our relationship.
It has been.
But I also want to encourage other people out there for relationships, for marriages, even for moms, like just talking to the moms out there that watch, knowing that your viewpoint is valuable and that you can lean into that strength. Now, I am not saying lean into anxiety.
Right.
That's something
Yeah.
different. A lot of moms, I mean, not just moms, but a lot of moms deal with anxiety. It's just how our brains are
Sure.
wired and what we have to fight. So I'm not saying lean into anxiety. I'm saying lean into the word of God. But knowing that this is part of your gifting, it is part of nurturing, it is part of caring. As women, we are called to be multipliers
Yeah.
and to nurture and give into growth for situations. And so when we come up with things and we see things that aren't going to make it, are short, are running out, are knowing that, hey, this is my gift to say, hey, here's an alarm. This is coming up and we've got to make it work. And knowing that that's part of your calling as a mother
Right.
and to help your mate say, hey, this is where we're at. This is what I see. How can we come
Yeah.
together and make sure that that doesn't happen?
Yeah. And Danley said also earlier, I want to mention this. She said, lean into the word of God. That's the Bible when we're referring to that. So for those of you that aren't believers and don't
Yeah.
understand that lingo, for us, we are a Bible believing family, Bible believing home, and we believe in the Word of God, which is the Bible. We believe everything that it says, and that's our guide for this life. I want to take a moment and say real quick. If you feel like these videos, if you feel like these conversations that they're bringing value to your life, I want to ask you like hit that like button, hit subscribe, share it to somebody. You know, I've said it in the last video, like we don't just want you to just watch in, right? What's the purpose of watching in? Like talk back with us. Like we want to know like what are some trigger points? What are some words, some things that we're saying that you feel like is bringing value to you specifically? It helps us as a guide. It lets us know like what lane to really lean into. So we're going to jump right back into it. You know, I love like what you said, babe, like, you know, really understanding that these are superpowers that we have.
Yeah.
And there's some things that I want to encourage um even us and then everybody's that's listening, that some things that we can do to really preface whenever we're getting ready to face conflict or altercation, right? There's been times like I'm coming to you and I'm going to share something or give you feedback on an idea that you gave me. You
Mm-hmm.
like you guys know that feeling, right? You're about to go to your coworker, or you're about to go to your boss or to your friend, to your mate, your partner, whatever it is, and you're about to go to them and you're going to give them feedback on an idea or thought that they had. And what happens is we use our filters and we just give feedback and we just start popping off at their mouth and say, well, I think it's this. I think it should be that. I like this. I think this. I think it should be that. And something for us that's worked for us in our relationship is to preface it and set it up.
Right.
We haven't always got it right.
So
So
happens.
there's times before I give you, you come to me and say, hey, the kids are sick. They have a fever. I don't know what to do. I think they should go to the ER. I think we should call the doctor. I think we should get this. Can you run to CVS or Walgreens or Rite Aids? I don't know what y'all got, like what you guys have in your area. And normally I start saying, whatever, man, they'll be fine, babe,
They'll be
relax.
fine.
And I realize it's a very dismissive
Yeah.
response for me not to acknowledge your perception
And
on
my
how,
stress.
and your stress and how you see and how you're receiving the situation. So what I've learned to do is preface and I'll set up my perspective. I will set up my filter. Another thing that I want to encourage everybody to do too, like whenever you're getting ready to give people feedback, like on their ideas or on their concerns or how they're feeling or their stress or their like anxiousness, like something that we've done is before I give my thoughts, I'm going to repeat everything that you're feeling back to you.
Mhm.
Okay, so the kids are sick and you feel like they should go to the doctor. You feel like, and I'll ask like, what makes you feel that way? And you'll kind
Yeah,
of talk about it. You'll
it's
break
true.
it down. It lets you know that I understand how you see it.
Totally. Because then I don't feel like I have to fight for you to hear me.
Bingo. And that's what happens to most people. They feel like they have to fight and you feel like you have to defend yourself. And what I'm telling you is, first of all, we need to do a better job of explaining ourselves. We need to slow down. We need to get our words together. Sometimes we need to say, let me think about it. And then for us that are on the other end, like before you start saying what you say and what you think, repeat back to the other person their feelings, their emotions, their perception, how they see it. It allows them to put their guards down and it allows them to understand that, okay, you know where I'm coming from. Now you get to speak into me,
Yeah, because
right?
you heard me. So now you can speak to me.
It's an exercise we've done all the time. Once I feel like your guards are down and that you know that I understand you, then I can actually say, okay, I'm gonna share with you how I see it.
Yeah.
Right? That's a preface. Set it up. I don't need to dismiss her. Right. And I want to encourage fellas out there. Listen, I get it. You guys are like, man, I wish like my girl would just understand me. I just wish that my wife would just understand me. Okay, get over it. Teach her how to understand you. Like, learn how to have better conversations. Stop being so reactive. Don't react to situations and respond to them. Ask questions. I tell this to people all the time. Like, before you got something to say, have something to ask.
So good.
Ask a question first.
Yeah.
So before I say, whatever, like, I don't think you need to do that, or making you feel like I don't care what you have to say, I'm going to ask you, like, why do you feel that way?
I think it's like super valuable too that if I have a strong opinion, I need to slow myself down
Right.
and ask that question
Slow
first.
down.
I feel like that is such a good barrier and a buffer
Right.
before I come in hard of like, this is how I feel or this is what you should do. Even I'm thinking of like work settings or opinions about something creative or
Hmm.
whatever. I'm not even thinking so much in our relationship, but with relationship with other people. Before I come strong with an opinion, I need to come strong with a question
Yeah.
first.
So the issue wasn't that I thought that I was very optimistic and the glass is half full, and that you were
Pessimistic. Good
pessimistic,
job.
and that you were the glass is half empty. The issue was that I did not value how you just saw the glass.
It's true.
Period. It's not about, well, he thinks and she thinks. Forget all that. It's about, do you understand the people that you are in relationship with? Do you understand how they see it? Because perception, right? Perception is based off of how you see it. Because who's right, who's wrong? So it's understanding how the other person see it.
It's true.
Is the glass half empty or is it half full? Who's right, who's wrong? It's just gaining more understanding of how the people that you are in relationship sees the conflict or see the opportunity. Like, you know what I mean?
As we're talking about it, I have a mental picture of I like to watch like Law and Order SVU
Right.
and when they or even anyone in battle, like when they come into a moment when they are surrounded, they go back to back.
Yeah.
And I just have like a visual of them being able to see they're seeing completely opposite sides.
Right.
Their backs are to each other, but they have to trust the point of view of the other person and knowing that they see that perspective, I see this perspective, but this is what's going to keep us the
Yeah.
safest.
Something else that we do to guys that I want to encourage you guys to honestly put into practice is we'll ask questions. Like, if Danley comes to me with an idea or a thought, if I don't feel passionate about it, I'm gonna actually say that. I'm gonna say, actually, babe, like, I know this is very strong for you right now, and you really feel, the world about the situation. I'm being honest with you, I don't really feel passionate about this topic. And I do value it because I value you and what's important to you. But I'm just going to tell you, my vote, I can't put it in because I'm neither left or right in this case. It lets her know that I'm acknowledging that this is a big situation, like when the kids were sick, right? And I just would tell her, like,
Oh my goodness. Do
I
you
just,
those used to be huge fights.
yeah, because Danny Lee just wanted me to just say, do you think they should go to the ER or not? And I didn't realize I wasn't verbalizing to her properly that actually, I don't know,
You don't know.
and
I
I
think
don't
in
feel
that point,
passionate about this.
you well, that sounds weird to say you're not passionate about our kids when they're
Well,
sick, but
you know what I
it's
mean.
because you didn't have a strong opinion. This is also goes back to personality types of like you didn't know the answer, so you couldn't make a decision.
Right.
And in our relationship, we've never had to deal with you not being the stronger leader. Like naturally in our relationship, you are a strong leader.
Yeah.
But what we did have to struggle with is you respecting my feelings or my choices.
Right.
And so once you were able to say, hey, this choice, I don't have a strong opinion about it, you would trust me in those
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
And that really set us free from arguing, from going back and
That's true.
forth. When I would ask you those questions, those were mainly like Jordan had to go to the ER. He was having breathing problems when he was a baby or whatever. And I wanted my partner to support me and agree with me. Honestly, that's what I was looking for. I didn't
Right.
know the decision on my own. So I wanted you to say, "Yeah, let's take them to the ER." but because you didn't know the answer, you couldn't give me
Yeah.
anything. And that was extremely frustrating because I was like, it's our son, it's his life. Why don't you have an opinion?
Right.
And so once you learn to verbalize, hey, I don't have the answer and I don't have a strong opinion, let's just go with your gut. That
Yeah.
really empowered me to lean into that mom choice of like,
Yeah.
you know what? I know what's best for my kid. Let's do
And
it.
babe, and you know what's crazy is I was never able to say I don't know until I got to the point where I trusted you
Hmm.
and believed that your skill set actually brought value to our relationship.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna say that one more time. I was not able to tell my wife I don't know how to make a decision on a topic until I was able to see her value as a teammate that brings 100% value to what we're doing in our relationship. And I could bow out and say, babe, honestly, I don't know. What do you think? Men, listen, we got to humble ourselves. We got to let go of the pride and we have to see the value of the women that are in our life. Guys, anyone that's in a relationship, get to the point where you can see the value of the people that you are in relationship with. Like, because if you don't, you're going to feel like you always have to make the decision. And that's tiring. You have to be tired. You cannot be sleeping at night if you feel like everything rises, falls, everything is on you. It's you haven't understood and acknowledged the value of the people that you're in relationship with. I got to the point, babe, where I realized like, yo, my wife is legit and she knows what she's doing and she knows what she's talking about. She's just as passionate about this as I am. This is not a 50-50 relationship. It's a 100%, 100%.
And your confidence in me boosted my confidence for myself.
So we
And it
all win.
helped me trust myself more. It helped me go, actually, I do know what my decision is.
Yeah.
I do know what I feel passionate about. I do know what's best for my family in this moment. And yeah, it made me trust myself more.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow.
So I want to encourage you, women, like if you have a man that is strong, be vocal in your opinions, be vocal in what you think. In respect, there is because we believe in the Bible, there is a lot to say about submission, and that doesn't mean that we are lesser than. That
Right.
means that we just have a covering and we respect it. And as the Lord has designed the family model to work, it is that they are covering, but that doesn't mean we fall behind. We stand right next to them, and that is one of the hardest things that I've had to learn in this walk in our marriage is that I don't fall behind him. I stand beside him. And so just learning my voice. You guys have heard me say that plenty of times that I've had to learn my voice more. And this was a big turning point for us in our marriage
Yeah.
of learning that I do know the right decision and I don't need your I think it wasn't really that sometimes I didn't trust my choice enough
Yeah.
and I wanted you to make the choice.
Yeah.
And so realizing once you gave me that confidence and power of like, "Hey, babe, I don't really
Yeah.
know the
Babe,
choice
I
here.
trust you. You make
I
the call.
trust you." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. Okay, I can
And
do this."
here's where everybody wins when you vocalize to the people you're in relationship with that you trust them. They actually don't want to lose that trust.
That's true.
So you're gonna actually work harder to make the right decision. And guess what I get to do at night? Do one of these right here.
Sleep.
Chill, relax. Look,
Sleep all
grab
through.
this mug right here.
What is
This
happening
this
right
this right
now?
here.
Oh my word. The
That's me.
sticker's still on the bottom of the cup,
Oh,
babe.
my bad. Didn't you get this for your birthday?
I did.
All right.
Shout out
But
to the friends who gave us that
that's
cup.
such a great thing. It's such a cool thing, man, for us to get to that point where we're in a healthy relationship. What? Like
Where
you
did
don't
this
like my
come
they were
from?
just in my pocket.
That's
Relax yourself.
wild.
Relax. All right? Relax. Chill. Chill. And for me, even as I'm an alpha male, and I realized that, naturally most women want an alpha male, a healthy alpha. Let me get my words together, right?
Healthy alpha male.
People like, man, that guy can't talk. Relax, okay? Stop judging me. You can't talk. All right. People
What?
want healthy alphas in their
It's
life,
true.
right? Alphas that operate at the basement of their calling, their ability. I'm sorry, at the balcony.
Oh, I
You're
was
like at the
like,
basement.
"The
Wait, what?
basement? The
You're
attic?"
like, what's he talking about? Let me slow down. It's I'm hungry because we haven't eaten lunch yet.
We haven't.
All I ate was Valentine's Day, little chocolates and stuff like that. So your boy is starving right now. But people want a healthy alpha in their life,
It's
for us
true.
to be able to discern, for us to be able to actually give off assignments to other people in our lives and say, like, hey, babe, Can I actually do this situation? I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to take care of it. And I realized like there are some women that have to be that in their relationship because the men they haven't stepped up.
It's true. If there's a lack of strength from the man, that woman is we're do or die.
Yeah.
We're hustle, we'll figure it out.
Right.
And so if that man isn't stepping into that role and leading the family, a woman's going to step in and take care of it.
Yeah.
And she's not going to want to. It's not where we feel most comfortable. It's not where honestly where God designed us to
It
be.
wasn't designed to
He
be like
gave
that.
us those skill sets and we can use them when we need to,
Right.
but naturally that is the man role to lead the family and be the covering,
Yeah.
but when that man ain't there, if you
Yeah.
ain't there, Imma have to step in.
And I'll tell you this, like I'm determined to do my job.
Yeah.
Like my job as the man in this relationship, right? I'm determined because I realize I'm gonna say this to you, fellas, married men. Listen, you got a job. When you became a husband, your job description is a husband. What does that look like? It's a provider, it's a protector, right? It's a covering for the household. Like it's security. Like I want my wife to know that like once I'm in the room when I'm there, she's good, she can chill. I would hate to be to the point where you feel like you always have to work harder or you can't even rest because you feel like I don't have it. It's like you're able to sleep while I'm driving. Well, you used to be able to sleep while I was driving.
What?
Now you all be nervous and stuff. But it's that comfort that you have. And listen, I'm gonna say this right now. Like married men, if you don't do your job, someone else is gonna do your job for you.
It's true.
Period. I always talk about like, I have to work hard at giving you compliments. I have to work hard at making sure that you know that I'm giving you attention and
Yep,
that I'm thinking about you and I'm posting about you and I'm talking about you.
it's true.
Right? It's some red flags to me when men don't talk about their wives. To me, I'm like, is your wife
Mhm.
not in your life? You're in my life. So I'm always gonna be talking about you because you're in my life.
Right.
And I realized like if I don't do my job, someone else is gonna do my job for me. And my job is to be that person for you. And I'm learning harder and harder. And I'm learning throughout these years that I don't have it figured out. And being open about that, being honest about that, and just telling you the truth. Like, babe, I don't know, or I'm not sure, or actually, can you decide? That's not showing weakness.
It's
It's
empowering.
empowering and it's humility. It's showing that wow, this guy is self-aware enough to know that he's incompetent in certain categories to make the decision, and he has a helpmate, a wife to say, "Hey, that's why I got you."
And it makes us trust you more when you can verbalize the lack of knowledge in a certain point, as opposed to if you're just a know it all and you're like, no, I got this. And I'm standing behind you, clearly knowing you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah,
That would make me so nervous to trust you. And that would make me negate everything you
that's so
say.
true.
And so because you have the like bravery and honesty to be like, hey, I don't really know in this situation. Can you make the decision?
Right.
I'm like, "Oh, okay. I trust you because when you say you know it, because the last time when you didn't, you told me that too."
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna give everybody homework. About to give everybody homework,
All
right?
right. Take your pens and
So
pencils out,
take your
everybody.
pens, pencils, your phones, write it, screenshot it, use closed captioning, whatever you have to do. I want to encourage y'all this week in your relationships, like take time to actually ask questions. Before you have something to say, ask two questions. While someone is talking, instead of figuring out what you're gonna say, think about what you're gonna ask them. Repeat back to them what they're saying. I guarantee you, guards will come down
Mhm.
when people know that you fully understand. You don't need to react, just respond. For all my married people out there, slow down, ask questions. Men, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay. Women, like butter up your guy, make his confidence go up before you tell him where you need him to step it up.
That's really good.
No, legit. Like, don't tear me down, tear me down, tear me down. And then you have more stuff to say. Make me feel good about myself. Take care of your boy.
I got you.
Take care of your boy tonight, right? But I'm saying is, women, make your husbands feel good before you tear them down or before you tell them where you want them to step
Actually, they
up.
should never tear them down.
Yeah, that's true. You should never tear them down. Thank you.
Never
Yeah,
tear your man down.
don't ever tear me down. Lift me up,
Right. Right.
build me up. Everything
Even
that
if
we
you're lacking in a certain spot, Imma talk about the
That's
good
true.
parts.
That's true. Everything you say to your man should be constructive and not destructive. The goal would be to build him. right? Men, it's the same exact thing. Your women, they want to feel love. And this right here is for everybody. Like put others first. When it comes to relationships, you don't need to figure out what can I do to win this, right? It's not about winning, right? It's about receiving, right? It's not about just going head to head and say, I won. Like, our son, there's been times where we had conversation and he just tries to prove a point and he's right. I said, you feel better about yourself?
Why does he argue with a 3-year-old? I
I'm
cannot.
like, do you feel better about yourself because you're right?
He's so
Yeah.
competitive.
It's not about just being right. It's about doing right.
It's good.
There's a difference. So that's all I
It's
got to
very
say.
true. That's a lot. You said a lot.
Say a lot. I
I
feel like
think
we're
this is
done.
a run back.
All right, yo, listen, guys,
Go play it again. Go
share
listen to
this
it
with
again.
somebody. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow the page. Don't just listen, watch, and then be selfish to give us a little subscribe. Just do it. You're not hurting nobody. If you're finding value in this, our goal is not to go viral. Our goal is to give value. So we want to encourage you guys. Keep digging. Oh, it looks
I'm
like
gonna
you
do a
got something
shout
to
out real
say.
quick.
Okay.
So for the women, after we talked about this, this conversation really, really reminded me of a book that I had read a few months ago, and it changed me. A lot of the things that I talked about today of like trusting my voice, leaning into knowing that I know the decision, I know what I want, and just valuing my opinion and myself more. It is this book. It's called Understanding the Purpose and Power of a Woman from Dr. Miles Monroe. So, ladies, if you need some of that in your life to just trust your gut more and the gifts that God has given inside of you, go read this book, y'all.
Yeah. All
That's
right,
it. That's
y'all.
all. I'm done.
Let's continue to dig. Hit us up, DM us, send us a message. Like for real, let's connect. Connect. We
We
love
love
y'all.
y'all.
Let's dig.